There is another cadence that can be used when the soprano moves from 2 to 1 or supertonic to tonic. It is almost as frequently occurring as 2/7b 5/1 and is a very useful alternative. 5/5/1 is always used with a 4/3 suspension over the 2 crotchet beats of chord 5. Here's an extract from Riemann-Schneider 26 illustrating its use. A suspension is another form of controlled dissonance that requires preparation, sounding, and resolution, all to take place in the same vocal part. The note of preparation, sounded as a consonant in the previous chord, is held over or literally suspended, creating a dissonance that is then resolved downwards by step on the following beat. There are a number of types of suspension, each identified by the use of figured bass. In this case, the figures tell us that the note of dissonance is 4 notes higher than the bass part, rationalizing any compound intervals, and that it resolves to a note 3 notes higher than the bass note. The 4/3 suspension is most frequently used and has a highly decorative effect. Now let's build a cadence step by step, with an example in G major to the left and another in E minor to the right. The Arabic numerals are placed above the soprano. The Roman numerals are entered below the bass stave. The example on the left features the need to use 2 separate chords underneath a minim preceding the pause note. Notice how the figured bass appears underneath the Roman numerals. The bass line is now added following the Roman numerals. This is then carefully checked against the soprano for consecutives. Now the suspension is created. Count 4 notes above the bass note at the point of dissonance in order to find the note of preparation. In these examples, it will be G in G major and E in E minor. It's always the tonic, in fact, when it's a 5/5/1 cadence and a 4/3 suspension. Make a decision over which part will carry all 3 stages of the suspension. Be guided by the last chord given, or, if you have a choice, try to place it in the alto part. In this case, the last chord given suggests that it should be placed in the alto part. The note of preparation is added. A G on beat 2 in the alto part, an E in beat 2 in the alto part in the example in E minor. This is followed by the note of dissonance. This is followed by the note of resolution, which in this case happens to be the leading note. Notice the use of the accidental in the example in the minor key. We know that the leading note needs careful treatment of the cadence. It drops to the 5th of the tonic chord. The tenor part is added, aiming to keep the chords full and to move with the least amount of movement from note to note. The passing seventh is used on the beat leading to the pause, A final refinement is just to modify the bass part. In order to avoid the static feel of two identical notes on adjacent beats, Bach modifies the bass line in one of two ways. Either the use of a downwards octave leap, as in the folk song Hot Cross Buns, here illustrated on the example on the left, though in this case it would take the bass a little low, in which case Bach adopts a different strategy. He uses a lower auxiliary note on the first of the two bass notes. The cadences are now complete and should be checked carefully for consecutives. Let's hear how they sound. First, the example in G major. And now E minor.